Howdy, gentlemen. Coming at you live here for another weekly recap of the League 10 through Week 8. Again, my apologies. This is now the second week in a row that I've had a delayed recap. Been kind of busy this week, and honestly, it completely slipped my mind until last night and realized that tonight when I get home, I would not have time to do this, and I would most likely not have time to do it this weekend. So, literally on my lunch break at school, doing a hotspot from my phone to my computer in my truck. Just wolfed down lunch, and so I'm going to try to crank this out quick before I gotta head back in. So, anyways, Week 8, kind of, I mean, again, I feel like I've said this before, but honestly, nothing too exciting happened in terms of like huge scores or anything. I mean, I know we're kind of on our bye week, so maybe that's why we're having, lower than average scores for the most part. But yeah, I mean, whatever. Kind of is what it is. So, oh shit, let me pull up one other thing here. Sorry, I'm a little discombobulated here. There it is. I know you guys want all of the information, so make sure I get that pulled up for you. Anyways, let's dive into the matchup super quick. First matchup we have is between Mitch and Corey, and I think this was, I'm quite certain this was the biggest blowout of the week. 142 points to 88 points. Corey secures himself. I'd have to look back, but this might be one of the lowest scores of the year. I got the weekly low score this week, so as I am wont to say, Mitch, you didn't win, you just didn't lose. Although you did have the second highest score this week, so maybe you did win. I don't know. Excuse me. Let's take a look at the matchup really quick. Mitch had quite a few players do pretty well for him. He had Joe Burrow, 21 points. Robert Woods, 21 points. Darrell Henderson, right? 22 points. Michael Carter for fucking New York Giants, the Jets, 32 points. That kind of came out of nowhere. Excuse me, man. Yeah. So yeah, 142 points. Yeah, Tom Brady sitting on his bench. I think he's done that a few times this year, but obviously he's in third place with a 5-3 record. So who are we to question him? Corey, on the other hand, literally, I mean, like when I mention players, they have to score at least 20 points. Corey did not have anybody on his starting roster score 20 points. He did have Tyler Lockett on his bench, 26 points. He started DeAndre Hopkins, Terry McLaurin, and Zach Moss in place of Tyler Lockett. Questionable management move, I don't know. But what I can say is that with that loss, Corey is now in 10th place. And like I said, Mitch is in third. Mitch has a magic number of 4. Corey has a magic number of 7. Let's move on to the next matchup. And that would be between Matt and Perk. Oh, nope. Sorry, that's week 9. Ignore me. God damn it. Oh, boy. Bear with me. The hotspot Wi-Fi is not cooperating with me, and I'm trying to get back to week 8 here. Come on. Sorry, the next matchup is between Brandon and Nick. And I lied because the matchup between Mitch and Corey was not the biggest blowout. The biggest blowout was between Brandon and Nick. Brandon wins this week, moves up to 6-2 and in second place with a score of 150 points. Beats out Nick, who had 95 points. He's 3-5 and in 8th place. Let's take a look at the matchup. Brandon had Carson Wentz 20 points, Chris Godwin 28 points, AJ Brown, 32 points. Emmanuel Sanders got him none, but didn't seem to matter considering he scored the most points of the week out of anybody this week. Nothing on his bench worth mentioning. Nick, on the other hand, kind of falling down here, Nick. I don't know. Again, just like Corey, nobody on your starting roster worth mentioning, and you had one wide receiver on your bench worth mentioning, Brandon Cooks. You started Mike Evans, Deontay Johnson, and Nick Chubb in place of him. So, again, questionable. That's up to you to decide. Brandon, like I said, 6-2 and in 6-2 in second place with a magic number of 3. Nick 3-5 8th place, magic number of 6. And I'm going to look at something here because I know I mentioned this last week, so I'm still curious how Brandon's points rank. So doing some really quick looking here. Yep, Brandon is... There are 2 people in the league that have fewer points scored than Brandon, but he's in 2nd place. So whoever Brandon has played up through the first 8 weeks, we're really dropping the ball on this. We're letting him get easy wins. So, or not easy wins. We're letting him get wins he shouldn't get. But anyways, moving on. Make sure I'm still on week 8 here. I am. We have Perk and Nate. And this was kind of a low-scoring affair, if you want to say so. Nate loses, gets a 2nd loss of the year. He's at he had 103 points, lost to Perk. He had 118 points, about a 15-point swing there. Let's take a look at the matchups. And oh, okay. I was almost gonna say that Perk won because Nate did not have anybody on his team worth mentioning, but he did have one, Denver's defense. Derrick Henry on IR, as we all know. So, like I had said, I think in a previous recap, I'm not saying the only reason Nate was in first or is in first is because of Derrick Henry, but we'll see how his team fares after Derrick Henry's injury here. I'm not sure if he's going to be out for the whole entire year, just a handful of weeks, but we'll see. Okay, sorry. I guess Adam Thielen did also score 20 points, so whatever. He had Michael Pittman Jr. on his bench, 31 points. Yeah, I think that was a pretty... I would say the average, like Nate, fantasy manager would not start him, but guys like me start him in my FanDuel leagues like I did last week and win me a lot of money. So, anyways, Perk, 5-3, 4th place, 118 points. He had Matt Stafford, 24 points, DK Metcalf, 22 points, Deebo Samuel, 23 points, and Aaron Jones, 24 points. And all that is pretty amazing considering he won basically with 4 players. Because if I do some really quick math, his other 5 players scored 12, 23, 25 points. So, yeah. So he had 4 players score over 20 points, and then his final 5 players, his running back, his tight end, his flex, kicker, and defense, all combined for a total of 25 points, including his defense, who got 0. He had Justin Fields on the bench, who had 26 points. Just like Brandon, Nate has 6-2 and a magic number of 3, and just like Mitch, Perk has a record of 5-3 and a magic number of 4. Next matchup we have, let's take a look here. We have Matt the Cheater versus Mike. And sorry, I should have mentioned this too. Nick lost Aaron Rodgers to lying about getting his COVID shot. So we can all make fun of him for that. And also, does Nate have? I'm assuming since Nate's name has CeeDee Lamb's name in it, CeeDee Lamb just came up with a sprained ankle, if you guys didn't see that. So, a lot of people losing people to injuries. Perk lost Noah Fant to COVID-19, so on and so forth. Next matchup, like I said, the Cheater Matt versus Mike. We got 2 boys that are just that would be competing in the wild card weekend if it was next weekend, which it is not. Mike 4-4 and in 6th place, wins 121 points to Matt's 105. Matt is also 4-4 and he's in 5th place. Let's take a look at the matchup first with Mike's team. He had Cooper Kupp 25 points, Joe Mixon 25 points. That was about it worth mentioning. He had Cole Beasley on his bench, 21 points. He's been kind of a sneaky play this year. Compared to Matt's team, Matt had Austin Eckler of 24 points. Amari Cooper, 26 points against your Vikings. Several double-digit point getters on his bench, but, whatever. So, going to kind of keep moving here. Like I said, both teams 4-4 in 5th and 6th place, respectively. Both teams have a magic number of 5. Moving on to, I believe we just have the matchup of the week next. Let's see who was in that one. And we have myself and Ben. And I think the reason that this was the matchup of the week, is because you got two guys who are pining to get back into the playoff hunt. And Ben was nice enough to let me get my second win of the year. So it's only taken me 8 weeks to get to 2 wins, but I finally got there. I got 186. Or I got 118 points to Ben's 102. Take a look at the matchups here, super quick. Excuse me. I had Josh Allen, 29 points. Tyreek Hill, 27 points. Najee Harris, 21 points. I had Ryan Tannehill on my bench, 23 points, but I was going to start Josh Allen over him. Yeah. A couple players didn't do very good on my team, but is what it is. Ben's team, on the other hand, he had Jonathan Taylor get him 21 points, and that was about it. He had Elijah Mitchell on his bench, who got him 20 points, but, well, he didn't get him 20 points because he's not starting. Ben lost Michael Thomas for basically the rest of the year. Not for basically the rest of the year. For the rest of the year. I think that was his 8th round pick. So, not good when you draft somebody in the 8th round that scores you literally no points. So, Ben, you cannot keep Michael Thomas for next year. He did not score you any points. Just a little tidbit to remember. I'm actually going to write that down as soon as I end this. Ben, 3-5, just like Nick. Ben is in 7th place. He has this magic number of 6. I'm in 9th place with a record of 2-6, and I have a magic number of 7, the same as Corey. So, anyways, I'm going to wrap this one up here. Of course, went over my 10-minute mark as I always do. But good luck to you deer hunters out there. I'm guessing that's most of you. Shoot straight. Don't kill Bambi. And, yeah, get those freezers full of venison. We'll see you next week, boys.